Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Want more information about those sponsors? Find them all at our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, underneath the Season 9 tab and the Money tab for coupon codes. Holly, let's go to the hotline and bring in our guest for this week.
Wendi Phan is a passionate YouTuber and creator of Wendi Land YouTube channel. She educates people on how to grow exotic plants and edibles, and also has a business where she sells the herbs and plants. Welcome to the program, Wendi.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, not only to educate Holly and myself, but all of our listeners. And I'll start with this. How did you get into growing exotic herbs and plants? Where was that aha moment for you?
The aha moment for me was when I discovered that there's actually herbs that you can grow, and there's so many different flavors, because I love cooking. And I just love being able to experience new flavors, new scents, and things like that in my food. And being in a small space, it just seems to make most sense to just get the most value out of it by growing, the things I can't really buy.
Well, and growing up, many people, large leaf basil, for example, there are like 16 or 20 different flavors of basil,
exactly.
Lemon, lime, chocolate, all these different kinds. And it's like, where was all this at? Why wasn't we, and then you can kind of create a whole world of flavors and seasonings with just growing basil.
Yes. It's amazing. And there's so many different profiles. Like, you may not like it, like with lime, maybe like a little more licorice, a little more spicy, it's just, you're right. Even just with one type of herb, you can have variety And
if you've never had lime or lemon or licorice, it is exactly what it tastes like. There's no flavor compared. It is exactly like a lemon, lime, or licorice. So if you don't like licorice, do not grow licorice basil.
You can grow the cloves or the cinnamon basil.
Yeah.
So how do you encourage people to grow these uncommon things, like the exotic herbs and plants?
Yes. So, I do a lot of shorts, and sometimes I would do dedicated videos on these rare plants. And I think it's mostly just my excitement about it, because when you genuinely love a plant or a product, you just kind of express it that way, So I do sometimes share some recipes, cooking. I love tasting it on camera. And so just being able to share, the flavors and just the beauty of it, because every plant, they're just beautiful, without you having to do anything more to it. So they smell great, they look great, they have a very unique taste. It depends on how you pair it with. And plus the medicinal properties. That's also another reason why I really got into more growing food, is because of the nutrient benefits. So just being able to share that joy and that passion behind it, I think, is what really inspires people.
Now, whenever you talked about growing in small spaces, for people who are not familiar with the growing basil, is there any concern of cross-pollination, of different merging of flavors, or is that just kind of a garden myth?
That's a great question. I don't really experience that myself, because I tend to grow a lot from cuttings because it's faster. And if I grow them from seed, eventually certain ones are not as tolerant to the cold, so they'll die back. And they don't tend to seed that well. Only certain varieties do seed, and I didn't see them cross-pollinating, but I'm sure that is possible.
And when you do a cutting, explain to those who are like, oh, what is that? You use that word faster. How can we grow these basils faster if we have, I guess, what is considered a mother plant?
So I love making cuttings because it helps me save time, especially in a small space. If I grow things from seed, it would take much longer and there's not enough light. So when you take a cutting, it's basically just when you have from the top upper stems that's still kind of still firm, you just take that and you can either root them in soil or in water. And just in a few weeks, you'll start seeing it take root. When you see them, they perk up a little more. You get the new growth. That's basically the identical plant, the sibling of that plant. It's a great way to multiply your plants quickly.
That definitely sounds very efficient and helpful.
And would you recommend 2 or 3 leaves, or is there a certain number of leaves that, okay, I need that many in order for it to photosynthesize and start rooting, or what's the kind of the root or the rule of thumb there?
The general rule of thumb, I would say it's probably I like taking about between 3 to 5 inches. I know some people do very small cuttings, but I like them kind of between like 3 to 5 inches. And you can even cut the tip, like the top, maybe an inch off of it, so it can encourage the growth like side shoots, so you can get a much more compact plant. And also it kind of stimulates the growth when you cut the top off. So yeah, 3 to 5 inches, and then take 1 inch off of that cut.
Right. Kind of stress a little bit, so it has to put on those side shoots and kind of survive.
Exactly. Yeah, I leave a few leaves, on it. Not too many.
Oh, that's very helpful information. So tell us about your YouTube channel, which is also full of helpful information. The name of it, of course, and then also, what people can expect when they go check it out.
Yeah, so you can find my channel just by typing my name, Wendiland. It's Wendiland. And my channel mainly focuses on pretty much anything like specifically on rare plants and fruits, but nature-driven, garden tours, any kind of unique things I find along my journey, my travels, rare fruits. I love doing fruit reviews. And then when it comes to DIY, I really focus a lot on small space because that's mostly coming out of my own garden. So it's like about vertical gardening, how you can utilize, maximize your space, like just to the max, and then doing trellising. So how to build ways to grow vertically. And my most recent project is a rooftop gardening. So I call it the Sky Garden series. I have a flat roof, so I thought I would take full advantage of it because there's just so much sun up there. And that's kind of the thing that I lack in the lower space because it's like a patio garden that has a lot of shade. So that's something new on the channel right now. But mainly, yes, I focus on growing rare plants and exotics and tropical, subtropical plants and edibles.
You talk about rooftop gardening. Correct me if I'm wrong. Enoch over at the Urban Garden, the program you've been on a couple of times, he did a rooftop garden or did one? Did he not?
He did. He was growing peppers.
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely select the right plants. Yeah. The heat loving plants. Yes.
Now, whenever people hear the word exotic, they think, okay, is she shipping these from other countries? Is there FDA or problems at ports to get them in? Or are these what you would find locally in the United States just on a very rare level?
Yes, on a rare level. I mean, I have collected mine through like friends and family and different trips. And, you can actually even collect plants when you're traveling within the U.S. You can actually take them on a carry-on. Yeah. So, and plant fair, stuff like that. So if you meet people who have that same hobby, that passion, then you can just kind of trade, you can share them. And I grow a lot of them myself. So that's how I'm able to also supply, some of my viewers. I ship them within the U.S.
What have you found to be one of your biggest challenges growing these exotic plants, and how did you overcome it?
I think the most difficult part is also kind of like the fun part is when you have something completely new to you and within your area, so you can't really find much information about it. So it's kind of like a mystery, but it's kind of fun and challenging. And I think with these exotic plants, I have been growing mainly more things like from the warmer area. So I think the winters here could be a challenge. But then after growing them for multiple years now, a lot of my exotic plants have kind of acclimated to, they're doing better now. I used to have to protect them, certain ones, and certain ones don't make it, and and how sensitive they are to the cold.
And what growing zone are you currently in that you're experiencing this with?
I'm in zone 10.
Okay.
So it's pretty mild winter, right? But for some tropical, especially like a really new one that's like introduced to the area, they can get really sensitive to even like lower 60s Fahrenheit.
What are some of what are some exotic plants that you would recommend for a new beginner?
A new beginner. One of my favorites would be one of the medicinal herbs. It's called ashitaba, and it's just this beautiful herb that does really well in part shade, part sun area, and it's just so medicinal, and it grows really well in a little deeper shade, or you can kind of introduce it to grow in a little bit more sun. And it has this deep taproot system, so it can be pretty hardy as long as you have like good, well-drained soil. It's just such a pretty plant, and because, like I said, the medicinal benefits behind it, it really kind of makes me think I want to keep, like giving it more love and attention. And because of that taproot, it just seems to be more hardy.
Now, are you growing most of these in containers or in the ground?
Both.
Okay.
I grow most things in ground. I know most things in containers, but certain ones I do grow in the ground. Like it's a raised bed that's connected to the earth.
Okay. Well, we've really enjoyed having you on the program today and providing all this great information. Can you remind our listeners where to find your information, your website, YouTube channel, etc.?
Yeah, sure. You can find me over on YouTube or multiple platforms like Instagram, Facebook, also at wendiland.com. That's the actual website to the garden shop. So you can just type in WENDILAND all in one word on multiple platforms, or it's Instagram, it's Wendiland, so it's ITS Wendiland. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I should be found pretty easily. And thank you so much, you guys, for having me.
Absolutely. And for people who do want to purchase those plants only in the continental United States, or where's the shipping legalities at there for you?
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.